Ivan Iron Man Stewart Super Off-Road, as it was originally called, is an overhead racing game endorsed by professional off-road racer Ivan Stewart and developed by Leyland Corporation in 1989. In the original arcade game, up to 3 players compete against each other or the computer in racing around several indoor off-road truck tracks. There are only 8 different tracks, and placing first results in the player earning points to continue the championship and money, which is used to upgrade the truck or buy more nitro. The goal is to reach the end of the season with the most money earned. The premise of the game is very simple, but what more would you need in a simple arcade action game? Oh, by the way, if you're wondering why the red truck is driving into walls and circles, well, that's because I'm controlling that one. Playing this game via MAME with a standard controller is impossible. Let's start off the ports with the Commodore Amiga version. This port, as you can see, is very close in looks to the arcade game, besides playing in only half the screen. The controls are also very well done, meaning the car has a little weight to it, moving as you would expect it to. Well, maybe besides the crazy jumps, the car seems to pull off. All in all, this is a nice port. Well, here's a problem. I tried 3 different versions of the Atari ST game on various setups, but none would get past the loading screen. I would imagine it's just the same as the Amiga version. Eight-bit time, starting with the Amstrad CPC version. As you can hear, it has pretty decent music and looks reasonable, apart from the yellow trucks blending in with the background. The playability is completely awful though. This is one of those stupid games where you need to push up to accelerate. This makes navigating the tracks a real pain in the ass. It also doesn't help that the game loves to turn your truck around every time you crash. It also doesn't help that the response time is sluggish. Yep, Super Off-Road on the Amstrad CPC isn't very good. Next up we have the ZX Spectrum port. This is the exact same crap that's on the Amstrad CPC, but now with slightly more responsive controls. That doesn't make it any better though, because now it's super easy to lose track of which car you are controlling. At first, I thought I was controlling the guy in the lead, until I noticed one of the badly drawn trucks has a flag sticking out of the top of it. It was then I realised I was last. Now this looks more like it. This Commodore 64 port is pleasing to the eye and ears, yet it still has those arse backwards controls from the Amstrad and Speccy ports. They're not as bad on the C64 mind you, since this version doesn't bounce your car into the opposite direction every time you hit a barrier. This is more like it. The MS-DOS port can run in either CGA, EGA, VGA or Tandy modes. We are taking a look at the VGA mode. It's a shame the best audio we have is ad-lib, but I guess we should be grateful it's here. As you can see, this looks quite like the arcade version and plays full screen unlike the Amiga version. So far this is the best port, but is it the best overall? Super Off-Road on the Super Famicom may just be the version most people prefer, and it's easy to see why. It looks better than the original arcade thanks to its boost in colour and little animations such as the ripples in the water. And let's not forget that nice little flag animation. But there's more. The Fallen Brothers gave us a soundtrack vastly superior to the original, and we get twice as many tracks as the original arcade version. is the real battle. Mega Drive vs Super Famicom. Which is the best? Well, the Super Famicom, or SNES if you prefer, definitely sounds better, but I think the Mega Drive looks better overall, especially the detail on the trucks. The Mega Drive version also has the Bikini Babes back in and slightly more responsive gameplay. It's a tough one, but I think gameplay comes above sound. The Master System port was surprisingly handled by the same developers as the home computer ports, Kraft Gold. How is the console port on the Master System? Well, it boosts the arcade's 8 tracks to 12, which is pretty cool. It also plays pretty well, although I do feel the trucks are power sliding more than actually driving. Audio isn't too hot, but overall, it's a nice package. This is the NES port. It's the only version of Super Off-Road to allow 4-player action. It's got the original music. It's got a pink car. It's made by Rare. It's shite. Yes, that's right. This port is a load of shite. The first 5 races are so bloody slow that it's a miracle anyone ever bothered to play past them. The controls are crap too. The game loves to what seems to be reversing your controls if you hit a wall. It also loves to stick you to the wall. NES fanboys may think I'm being hard on this port. All I can say is go and try one of the others. Even the ZX Spectrum plays better than this. Just like the Master System port, this was also developed by Kraft Gold, and it's yet another good port. It's obviously based upon the Master System version, but now features tighter controls and a scrollable screen due to the lower resolution of the Game Gear. Surprisingly, the scrolling screen isn't off-putting at all, and works quite well. And finally we come to the end of the ports with this crap from NMS Software on the Game Boy. Unlike the Game Gear version, this one is really unplayable. The trucks turn so slowly and the scrolling is juddery. It's also quite a sluggish paced port. Not as bad as the NES version, but still pretty bad. Best to avoid this one. And let's take a look at all those versions of Super Off-Road running side by side.